Well, hello there, it's Beards and Bangers, and today we're going to start work on my ZT Poseidon Zeus new series. I introduced it a couple of weeks ago, but I'm actually going to start today by stripping the interior of the car. So I'm actually running the car up to get some heat in it because it's so bloody cold today and it's quite damp in the unit. So remind ourselves what we've got to do. So probably easy to start over here. So I've got a pre-project drive carpet and the seat base, leather seat base on top of the ZS here. We've got back of the seats, got some electric memory seats here. We've got some more seats here because I've got two sets just so get the best I could. So another set of seats there. Ignore the royal blue bumper, that's off Gusley, Austin's old 190, which I actually bought off him. So I'm going to keep that, I'll sell it. We've got a parcel shelf with a sun blind because in this car we've got a parcel shelf without a sun blind. You probably can't see very well because it is dark, but I've got to work inside because it is horrible out there today. We've got Alcantara seats, which are very nice, but not the right seats for this car. We've also got a post-project drive carpet. We've also got, and it's also soggy because the sunroof drain is blocked. We can do that while we're stripping it. And we've got a sagging headlining. So we've got all these things that need to come out of the car first. So this video is principally just stripping everything and then putting all the stuff back in. Obviously we'll clean up, make sure there's no rust in the floor pan or the roof, and get it looking nice. Got a new radiator going, but I'll do that later on. That's not something I'll do straight away. But while all the trim's off and bits and bobs, I'll get a DAB aerial fitted as well, so that's all ready to go as soon as the car's put back together. So we'll start off with, what I'll do is I'll take the driver's seat out and then do that first, because then it makes it much easier to get the headlining out. So if you remember back to a previous video that I made of getting the headlining out of a ZT or 75 saloon, if the seats aren't in, it's a lot easier. So we're going to do the front seats first, then the headlining, and then we'll have the unenviable job of getting the carpet out, which is not that fun because you've got to take the centre console out, which means pulling the gear knob off, and that is a really difficult job on these because the gear knobs on ZTs are notoriously hard to get off. So I'm just going to get myself set up with some tools. We'll get the passenger seat out first, and then we'll get the driver's seat out, and then we'll start dropping the headlining. Right, so before I do any of that, I've actually got a box. This box has been sitting in my house for bloody months, and I'm hoping it contains some, I'm pretty sure it's an order I made up. I can't remember what's in it, but this isn't an unboxing video because I'm just really wanting to see what's in this box, because there might be some bits that could be of use. Ah yes, indeed. Discount MG Rover spares are brilliant. Poseidon hasn't got a battery tray cover. There's a battery tray cover. What else have we got in here? Not ZT, but we've got some sweets, of course, which I'll give to Austin or Sam or Lewis, because I'm not supposed to eat sugary stuff anymore because I'm not doing very well with my diabetes. As you can probably tell by the girth of my stomach. Jacking points. So these will be for this car, and then a short shifter and bush for a PG1. So that's going to be for Halo. So we'll leave those there. What we'll do is we'll grab the camera and we'll go and fit the battery cover before we start. I am procrastinating because it is so cold. My hands are buzzing with coldness. So we'll get the battery cover fitted first rather than doing the seats. Then we'll do the seats. So there we are, there's Poseidon without battery cover, so we can just pop that on. It gets it a bit nicer. Just every time you open the bonnet, I really hate that sight of not having... Oh, will it fit? Why isn't it fitting? What I thought would be the easiest job of the day. There we go. kind of fitted, but I'm going to disconnect the battery actually to keep the battery alive, because they do drain. If you don't drive 75s and ZTs, they do drain eventually. Right, I'm going to grab a Dugger and a Torx bit, and we'll tackle the passenger side first. I'll do that off camera. I'll do the driver's side just for ease of getting in and around the car. I'll show you the driver's side. Right, so we've got 4 T50 bolts. I'll do my best to show you. We can see the connectors under there as well. So this here is the loom for the electric memory heated seats. So these are just plain seats. So you've just got the airbag sensors on these. So four connectors, I think, or 2 connectors. Passenger seat's already loose, so that's just, I just wait to take that out. I just need to move the car a little bit. But I'm going to reserve this seat. Actually, I might put another seat in that I've got, just because it's not in as good condition. Doesn't matter if it gets sort of dirty or ripped. But yeah, yes, we'll get these seats out, then we'll start the arduous process of getting all the bits and bobs out to get the headlining down, which is quite fun on these. Plus you've got a glued section as well. If this is original, you've got the cabling going to the sort of rear that runs over under the roof, which is normally sort of hot glue melted onto the back of the headlining board. So you've got to remove that really carefully so you don't rip the headlining. So I'll do my best to position the camera so you can see what I'm about to do. Right, so I've got a long extension bar because it's really awkward to get the Dugger in. So you don't have to just ease it out. It doesn't need to be forced down. For goodness sake, make sure you keep your fixing. So there's your fixing for the seat. Obviously quite substantial because they're holding down a very important part of the car. So let's get the other ones out. And for some reason oh God, that's gone in the wrong spot. Right, quick pause while I retrieve the Torx bit. My fine motor skills aren't what they once were, so just quickly get this one out. All you can probably see is my arse. And that's it. Literally, if you've got a Dugger, it's a lot easier. Right, the things I do for YouTube, so I'm going to lie down so you can really see what I'm doing here. Not that it's that interesting. I mean, it's pretty basic, even though I'm making an absolute meal of it. Let's find the correct tools. Where's that gone? There it is. Yeah, so this bit holder's not actually holding the Torx bit at all. I think the little spring in it has failed, but this is a Halford's professional set. It has got a lifetime warranty, so I might need to avail of that at some point. One. And yes, I am out of breath there because I'm struggling, not because there's anything massively wrong. I am doing a lot of walking now. Some of you commented that my breathing was really bad, and yes, I do suffer with asthma, but I am doing a lot more walking and I'm feeling a lot better for it. Just now need to get some weight off. Well, that's the seat out, so we'll get this out of the car and then we can start tackling. Actually, no, we'll leave it so we've got something to sit on, but we've got it undone. And then we'll get all the fixings out for the headlining, and then we'll take the seats out. So up front we've got a couple of screws holding in the sun visor. There's a screw under that little flappy bit there. This just pulls down, but we'll do that as late as we can, just so we've got a bit of more light. These come off. Little flappy flap there. Screw. I think, actually no, it's a Torx bit, I think, actually, for those. This sunroof trim will come off once we've got the headlining down. These trim bits just pull out, literally, he says. They should just come out, up and out. Come on, we've done this loads of times. Cool, they're well bonded in there. Right, so we'll tackle all that. Yeah, and hopefully in about 5 hours we'll have a completely stripped interior. Right, so when you're doing the sun visors, a tiny screwdriver and a cordless drill or a screwdriver is your friend. Just make sure that's on the right setting. We'll do it on a torque so we can get this bit off first. That's fairly easy. I'm going to put all the bits in the ash. No, I'm not going to chuck them on the floor. I'm going to put all the bits in the ashtray for now. I'll grab that one in a sec. Just carefully remove that. That's one sun blind. Just chuck everything on the dashboard because that ain't moving. And actually these screws can go back in because they won't impede us from getting the headlining out, or they shouldn't do. And then you've got a little flappy bit, which I showed you a second ago. And just prise that open. And that should reveal a screw. He says, or do they just pull out? I forget. Is there a screw up there? We need to get the light. We need to get light. Trouble working in the barn. It's nice to be working under cover, but it is very dark. And haven't yet, so hopefully over Christmas both Austin and I are off work, so hopefully that will give us a chance to sort of do things like improving the lighting in here and just making it a bit of a nicer place to be. Right, pause for a second while I think about that. Yeah, so they just pull out. You've got to be careful. They are. I mean, don't forget this plastic's 20 years old, so it's quite brittle. But they just prise out. A lot of the parts on the interior in 75s and ZTs just pull it out. So like this trim piece, I'm struggling to get that bit out, but it will come out unless someone's bonded it or something like that. But you've got to be careful. I'm pretty sure I've got spares somewhere, but yeah, you've got to be careful with all these bits because they're old. And a lot of these cars have been left out in the sun and plastic goes brittle. So I'll continue working around this front bit. Then we'll do the back and the grab handles. And then hopefully we can get the seats out and grab the headlining out. Yeah, so I thought the grab handles were actually Torx bit. They're not, they're screwdriver bit. So I probably can, if I'm very careful, knock the light out the way. This is the trouble with doing these jobs on your own. This is where I really need a cameraman. Because it'd be so handy. But yeah, the candidates for cameraman are all busy today. Let's just make you feel seasick by jiggling the camera about a lot. Right, stay there. Bit of light's what we need, so we can just get the drill in and remove this. And I have picked the screws up. What I'm going to do, I have got some plastic boxes, so I'm going to. That's loose. He says. So I'll grab dead on that. It just pops out. You've got these little plastic covers as well, which you just prise open with a screwdriver. I'm sure you can guess what happens next. And you give it a good old yank, and it kind of pops out, really. Yeah. So what I do with the screws from these fixtures, just put them back in the holes, so we know exactly where they are, so everything goes back in the right place. This is interesting here. We've got a really rusty screw. I don't know how well you can pick that up on the camera, but that's where the sunroof drain is blocked. So that's where this corner. You've got mould on the headlining. The trim, the fabric's gone off that pillar trim there. That screw's rusty. That bit of carpet's rotten. So that's where your sunroof drain's getting in. So it's just that corner. Luckily this side's actually all right. So while I've got you, we'll try and get this pillar trim off, which doesn't want to come off. Normally these just slide out, up and out. That doesn't want to go out, up. Let's see if it wants to come out. There we go. And there's the sunroof. There we go. I've got a bit of loom there as well. Which is that's actually out enough to get the headlining out. But I want it completely out of the way, because the more you go out of the way, the easier it is. Plus I want to check all like this stuff here as well. So yeah, is that the sunroof drain? I think so. There we are. So right, I'll get these out. Well, then we'll just work on the back and then get the seats out and get the headlining done. Right, so that's pretty much all the trim stripped out. We can now grab a chair and get it out of the car. I've got to remember how to do this. Like that, that's it. get the door open all the way, and the seat should just come up. Just be careful not to scrape the bodywork. We'll put this to one side because we'll use this chair. We'll put this chair back in the car loosely, just to move the car back. So we all need to move it. I'd like to get it a bit further forward actually in the unit where it's a bit lighter, and we can see what we're doing. Right, I'll get the rest of the other chair out, get the headlining down, which I'll show you, and then we can get the back seats out, which is probably actually worse than getting the headlining out. It's an absolute pain in the bottom doing that. Look at that, bonus, £6 under the seat. Probably mine, knowing my shorts that I was wearing in the summer when I was driving this thing. Money does drop out of my pocket, so that's nice to find some cash. Probably not going to be quite enough to restore my whole fleet, but it's something, it's a start. Right, so that's the front seats out, all the trims down, so even these side panels. Let's pull out these bits, these top ones with these lugs. They're hard work. You've got to give them a really careful kind of yank, but be sort of firm but careful at the same time, if that makes sense. It's amazing. So this is I'm sitting in the back seat now. You can see how much space you've got with the front seats out. Obviously this car is now drivable for Matt Harrison and Lewis, who are both massively tall people, so they could actually now get in this car and drive it quite easily. I joke. So next bit to do, this is something to bear in mind with the sunroof models, is we've got this sunroof trim which is a bit like a door seal, and we've got to pull it out. So I'm going to do that. I'll probably have to do it off camera because I've got nowhere really to put the camera. Actually, I can put the tripod carefully somewhere, and then we'll get that out. Then the headliner should come out, and because we haven't got front seats in, it should, if we get this and we'll do driver's door, it should come down fairly easily. This car's got the volumetric alarm. There's a cover on there which I've put up the front, so that I'm not sure if that comes down first, but we'll work with it. We'll have a go, and then that's the headline down. I'll put it on top of one of the other cars overnight, and then I won't show you covering the headlining because I've done that before. I've got one more bit of trim to get out up there, the sunblind clip. I'll yank that out in a sec. I can get that pillar trim off over there, so passenger side front, but I managed to loosen the headlining away from it. So just got to carefully, now you can see, I don't know how well you can see, but you've basically got all the cabling is glued to the back of the headlining, so we just need to very carefully, before we even try and get the headlining out, which hopefully will be a lot easier now we've got no seats in the car. I've obviously got to get that light threaded through, pull the cable off. I've just got to see what's happening with that the volumetric alarm's cabled in, so we'll need to get that off the headlining as well. I didn't manage to film the sunroof trim coming off because I sort of yanked it just to sort of see how it came off, and it just came off. So again, same as door rubbers and trim, just firm but careful yanking. So I'm just going to very carefully go around and peel off all this cabling, which I won't do it all because it just use your fingers, just get them underneath. That's pretty sticky, so I might have to get a blade in there, but just be very careful with the headlining board itself, because if you damage it, they are hard to get. So be careful. Obviously we won't glue things back, so we'll probably I'll probably tape the cabling to the roof rather than gluing the cabling back to the headlining once it's been refurbished. So let me get the camera set up, get this cabling off, and then we'll show you getting the headlining board actually out of the car through the driver's door. Right, that's everything disconnected. I've got to remember how to get this out now. It's kind of like a 3-point turn. But the key thing is you mustn't fold it, because if you fold it, it's boogered, and it will never go back in right. So we'll give it a shove from this other side. Sorry you can't see all of this, but I was wondering if it's gonna. Oh, there goes the ashtray. So that door's fully open. Let's push that chair back. That's it. Let's just get the gear stick going the other way. There we are. Up, over, And hopefully this, a little bit caught up, but come on. Oh, it's gone in there. So get back of it. There we are. And it's out. Not the worst headlining. Because say these ones, we are, show to hold it up to you. Yeah, because you've got so many, you've got obviously got the sunroof trim, you've got the volumetric trim, and then you've got all the lights and grab handles. Actually quite a lot holding this one up, unlike the sort of non-sunroof models. So that's out, that can be recovered. I'll do that off camera, obviously remove the fabric, brush, get it done, thoroughly clean it with a brush, just really carefully, lots of glue on both the new fabric and the board, and it's done. There we are. So I'm going to put this carefully on top of the ZS, and I think that's enough for today. I've cut myself, so I don't want to get blood absolutely everywhere. So next will be getting the back seats out, which is a challenge in itself, and then removing the carpet, which is going to be fun. So that's going to be a whole episode on that, and then we'll put it all back together with new stuff. So thank you for watching. Don't forget, if you want to see what's going to happen with the rest of this project, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and bell notification. Drop a comment down below, share with your friends, and I'll see you again very soon on the next episode of Beards and Bangers, hopefully when I'm feeling a bit less cut and a bit less cold. Goodbye.